Open world games have a huge impact on how we play. They give us freedom, let us do whatever we want without following a linear story, and still deliver amazing narratives and characters that we'll definitely remember forever. I truly believe these are the 20 best open world games of all time. I'm sure you'll agree with this list, and if you haven't played some of them yet, I'm here to save you from wasting money and help you make the right choice. Let's get to the list. Number 1. Far Cry 5. Kicking off this legendary list with a game that absolutely nailed its setting and brought a unique kind of chaos, Far Cry 5. The open world of Hope County, Montana is the real star here. It's perfect because it feels genuinely American, vast, and hostile. You've got those rolling hills, dense forests, and that small-town Americana vibe, which just makes the invasion by the Eden's Gate cult feel so much more personal and unsettling. The game drops you in and says, here are 3 regions, go start a resistance. That level of freedom is addictive. The gameplay is pure Far Cry sandbox fun, but refined. I love the guns for hire system, recruiting awesome characters like Herc or Nick Rye, or even having Cheeseburger the Bear as your companion. That was peak craziness. My most memorable experience was flying a plane over an outpost only to bail out and land on a herd of elk, which then drew the attention of a nearby cult patrol. Unscripted, hilarious chaos. The antagonist, Joseph Seed, is one of the franchise's best. He's genuinely chilling, and his influence permeates every corner of the map. If I had a critique, it's that the forced main mission captures could sometimes interrupt the flow of the open world. But honestly, for delivering an incredibly unique, chaotic, and beautiful open world experience based on regional liberation, Far Cry 5 earned its spot on this list. 2. Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. Next up, a game that totally reinvented a franchise and gave us the greatest open-world pirate experience ever made, Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. This open world isn't a city, it's the entire Caribbean Sea. And that's why it's perfect. The freedom of sailing the Jackdaw, hearing your crew belt out sea shanties, and chasing down a man-o'-war, that feeling of being a ruthless privateer is unmatched. It captured the spirit of adventure better than almost any game I've played. The gameplay beautifully balances naval combat and on-foot exploration. Upgrading your ship by scavenging materials and engaging in massive, spectacular sea battles felt incredibly rewarding. Then you'd land on some deserted island to hunt treasure or dive for sunken riches. That loop is magic. Edward Kenway is easily one of the most charismatic protagonists in the AC series. He's a selfish pirate who stumbles into the Assassin-Templar conflict, and his journey is compelling and authentic. What didn't I love? The occasional tailing missions on land always felt clunky and tedious compared to the epic high seas action. But when you look at the sheer scale, the incredible naval combat, and the atmosphere, Black Flag is a timeless open-world masterpiece. 3. Red Dead Redemption 2. Alright, we can't talk about the best open worlds without talking about the undisputed GOAT of atmosphere, Red Dead Redemption 2. This game isn't just an open world, it's a living, breathing 1899 life simulator. The open world of the American West here is perfect because it's built on immersion and detail. Every snowdrift, every muddy town street, every rustle in the trees feels intentional. The game forces you to slow down and live in its world, caring for your horse, hunting, and dealing with random encounters that feel totally organic. I've spent hundreds of hours in this map, and I'm still finding new things. The gameplay is built on systems. The weight of Arthur Morgan, the demanding gunplay, the detailed camp management, it's all designed to ground you in reality. That feeling of riding your horse across a massive plains area at sunset, getting ambushed, and having a messy, desperate firefight, pure cinematic value. Arthur Morgan is one of the best protagonists in video game history. Complex, flawed, and deeply human. His story arc is tragic and beautiful. My main criticism is that the slow pace and the heavily guided mission structure can feel tedious compared to pure sandboxes. But for delivering the most detailed, atmospheric, and emotionally resonant open world ever created, RDR2 is an essential experience that fully justifies its legendary status.
4. Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain. Jumping from deep realism to pure, brilliant espionage freedom, Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain. Hideo Kojima basically perfected the open-world sandbox with this one. The open world is perfect because it functions as a massive tactical playground. Unlike other games where the world is just scenery, the maps of Afghanistan and Africa are designed to facilitate endless stealth and tactical possibility. Every mission can be approached in 1,000 different ways, using everything from cardboard boxes to Fulton recovery balloons. The gameplay is the most refined stealth system ever made. That feeling of scouting a massive base, marking every guard, finding the optimal path, and executing a flawless infiltration, it's addicting. And the Mother Base system adds amazing value, giving you constant incentive to use that brilliant Fulton device to recruit literally everything from soldiers to goats. Punished Venom Snake is a mysterious and compelling protagonist, and the story, while fragmented, has those classic, mind-bending MGS twists. My only complaint? The repetitive mission structure in the middle section could sometimes feel like filler. But for delivering an unrivaled level of tactical freedom, stealth depth, and amazing sandbox potential, MGS Vive is easily one of the most innovative and best open-world games of all time.
5. Mad Max. Alright, let's talk about a game that often gets slept on but delivers unparalleled atmosphere and a truly unique loop, Mad Max. If you want a visceral, post-apocalyptic open world, this is it. The open world, the Great White, is perfect because it's built around vast, hostile emptiness. It's not cluttered with icons, it's a desolate, beautiful wasteland where survival is the only objective. The map is designed to sell the desperation. You are always scrounging for scrap, water, and fuel. The gameplay is centered entirely around vehicular combat. Your car, the magnum opus, is your lifeline, and upgrading it is deeply addictive. The feeling of ramming a rival vehicle, grappling it with a harpoon, and pulling the driver out at 60 mph, that raw, heavy metal action is unmatched. It elevates the open world by making the car the primary tool of exploration and destruction. Max is the ultimate silent protagonist in this world of warboys. His journey of revenge and survival perfectly mirrors the grim environment. My one major critique is that the on-foot brawling, while decent, couldn't quite keep up with the incredible car chaos. But for delivering the most authentic, gritty, and vehicular-focused open-world survival experience, Mad Max is a truly awesome entry on this list.
6. S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2: Heart of Chernobyl. Let's dive into a unique kind of terror with S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2: Heart of Chernobyl. This game doesn't just put you in a big map, it puts you in the most hostile, unpredictable, and atmospheric open world ever created, the Zone. The Zone is perfect because it's built on systemic unpredictability. This massive, non-linear exclusion zone is constantly challenging you with deadly invisible anomalies, horrific mutants, and the constant threat of lethal radiation and sudden emissions. The atmosphere and the sense of genuine danger are what makes this game an absolute masterpiece. The gameplay is hardcore survival. You are managing hunger, sleep, radiation, and equipment durability while desperately hunting for rare artifacts. Every piece of gear, every bullet, and every healing item feels earned. That cycle of risk versus reward is insanely addictive and creates legendary emergent stories. The protagonists are the stalkers themselves, tough, broken individuals trying to survive. The story is non-linear and complex, reacting dramatically to the choices you make. If I have one worry, it's that the brutal difficulty and lack of hand-holding might be too much for casual players. but for delivering the most immersive, deeply atmospheric, and truly survival-focused open-world FPS experience, S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2 is a game that is destined to be a classic. 7. Marvel's Spider-Man 2. Swinging back into the modern era, let's talk about a game that sets the bar for traversal and fluid action, Marvel's Spider-Man 2. This game makes you feel like a superhero like no other. The open world of New York City is perfect because it's a vertical playground of pure speed. Swinging through the skyscrapers, especially with the addition of the web wings, is the best traversal mechanic in gaming, period. The sheer flow and momentum make moving around the city an absolute joy. Fast travel becomes optional because moving is so fun. The gameplay is a blend of spectacular action and fluid combat. Being able to seamlessly switch between Peter Parker's heavy symbiote powers and Miles Morales' sleek Venom blast attacks adds amazing variety. The boss battles, especially the encounters with Venom and Kraven, are epic cinematic events. The story is fantastic, dealing with heavier themes and giving both protagonists excellent arcs. Venom is arguably the best live-action version of the character we've ever seen. My only critique is that the side content felt a little less unique than the main narrative, which is a minor thing. But for delivering flawless traversal, top-tier superhero action, and an exciting, emotional story, Spider-Man 2 is an essential open-world experience.
Number 8. The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. Alright, time to talk about the absolute heavyweight champion of open-world fantasy immersion, The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. This game didn't just release, it became a lifestyle. The world of Skyrim is perfect because it is built entirely on unrestricted freedom and emergent stories. You can ignore the main quest forever, become a master thief, join the College of Winterhold, or just wander off to climb a ridiculously steep mountain. That freedom to literally become anyone you want is why this game is timeless. The gameplay loop is addictive. It's all about exploration, finding an unmarked cave, fighting a frost dragon in the mountains, or stumbling upon a massive Civil War battle. The sheer density of lore and unique encounters in every corner of the map is staggering. The Dragonborn is the ultimate protagonist avatar. The game lets you tell the story, and the thousands of mods available only amplify that creative freedom. My one genuine complaint is that the combat system always felt a little clunky compared to the game's sheer ambition. But honestly, for defining the fantasy open-world genre and offering endless hours of unparalleled adventure and role-playing, Skyrim belongs at the very top of this list. 9. Ghost of Tsushima. Let's slow down and talk about Ghost of Tsushima, a game that is a work of art and a true masterclass in atmosphere. The open world of Tsushima Island is perfect because it's built on cinematic beauty and minimalist immersion. Sucker Punch created a map that looks like a living Kurosawa film, with fields of waving grass, bright yellow leaves, and misty forests. The genius guiding wind system replaces the annoying minimap, making exploration organic and constantly rewarding. The gameplay is spectacular. The samurai stances and the challenging standoffs make the combat feel weighty and incredibly satisfying. That moment when you challenge 3 Mongols to a duel and take them all down with one perfectly timed sequence never gets old. Switching to the stealthy ghost persona added amazing depth. Jin Sakai is a brilliant protagonist, dealing with the internal conflict of honor versus necessity. His journey to save his home is deeply moving. My only wish is that the fast travel loading times were maybe a little slower, just so I could admire the scenery more. Seriously though, for delivering a world of unparalleled beauty, cinematic quality, and truly epic combat, Ghost of Tsushima is a mandatory open-world experience. 10. Days Gone. Next up, let's talk about an open-world gem that truly surprised me and delivered an awesome survival horror experience, Days Gone. The open world of Oregon is perfect because it feels wild, rugged, and hostile. The vast forests, snow-dusted mountains, and destroyed towns create a beautiful yet desolate backdrop for the apocalypse. It truly feels like an unforgiving wilderness where you're just trying to scrape by. The gameplay loop centers around the motorcycle and the hordes. Deacon St. John's bike isn't just a vehicle, it's a critical tool for survival, forcing you to manage fuel and repairs. And the hordes, these massive, fluid rivers of freakers, are the unique factor. Facing 300 infected at once is a pure panic moment that requires meticulous planning and trap setting. That level of overwhelming threat is what sets this game apart. Deacon St. John is a complex protagonist whose story deals with loss and brotherhood. His personal journey, fueled by the search for his wife, is surprisingly emotional. My only critique is that the story takes a bit too long to ramp up in the early hours, but once it hits its stride and you start tackling the big hordes, Days Gone is an intense, rewarding, and truly unique open-world survival game.
11. Fallout 4. Time to step into the Commonwealth, a brilliant open world that defines post-nuclear scavenging. Fallout 4, I've lost hundreds of hours here, and it's all down to the value this world provides. The open world of post-war Boston is perfect because it's built on scavenging and creative rebuilding. The sheer density of lore, stories, and junk you can find in every crumbling building is amazing. The core loop of collecting literally everything to feed the settlement building system is genius. You're not just exploring, you're rebuilding civilization. The gameplay balances FPS combat, RPG progression, and base management. The power armor mechanic is awesome, making you feel like a walking tank. The VAT system is still the best way to pause chaos and tactically cripple an enemy. The protagonist can be customized, but the central quest to find your son gives you a clear purpose in this massive, broken world. The companions, especially Nick Valentine and Dogmeat, had so much heart. My only issue was that the dialogue system was simplified compared to past Fallout games, which hurt the overall role-playing depth. But for delivering an incredibly dense, rewarding, and highly replayable open world centered on scavenging and freedom, Fallout 4 is an absolute classic. 12. Horizon Forbidden West. Next on the list, a game that delivers unparalleled visual splendor and imaginative world building, Horizon Forbidden West. This sequel took the formula and made it bigger and better. The open world of the Forbidden West is perfect because it's a vast, beautiful, and dangerous jungle of machine beasts. The contrast between the lush natural environments and the intricate, giant mechanical dinosaurs like the Tremor Tusk and the Slitherfang is stunning. Exploration is always a visual feast. The gameplay is a masterclass in tactical hunting. Playing as Aloy, you have an incredible arsenal of specialized bows, traps, and tools. Figuring out the weakness of a machine, setting up a perfect ambush, and stripping its armor piece by piece, that strategic hunting loop is intensely rewarding and sets the combat apart. The story expands the fascinating lore of the collapse of the Old Ones and takes Aloy on a desperate quest to save the planet. Her continued growth and curiosity make her a fantastic protagonist. My one small critique is that the story often pulls you away from the sheer joy of exploring the huge map, but that's a minor thing. Horizon Forbidden West is a stunning, high-value open-world game that gives you endless hours of visually spectacular machine hunting and exploration. 13. Batman Arkham Knight. Let's switch gears and talk about the definitive superhero experience in an open world, Batman Arkham Knight. This game totally nails the feeling of being the Batman. The open world of Gotham City is perfect because it's built on atmosphere and verticality. It's a gorgeous, rain-slicked, neon-drenched urban environment that truly feels like Batman's domain. The brilliance is the fluid traversal. Grappling and gliding across the massive city rooftops is seamless, fast, and incredibly fun. You are literally stalking the streets. The gameplay is a polished masterpiece. The free-flow combat system is still the best melee system in gaming. That feeling of chaining together strikes, counters, and gadgets against dozens of thugs is pure power fantasy. The introduction of the Batmobile added vehicular combat and puzzle solving, which, while sometimes divisive, brought a unique dynamic to the world. Batman himself
and the incredible cast of villains elevate the game. Scarecrow is a fantastic antagonist, and the story's focus on Batman's psyche is compelling and dark. My only critique is that the heavy reliance on the Batmobile felt a little excessive in some parts. But for delivering the ultimate power fantasy, incredible combat, and the most atmospheric rendition of Gotham City ever, Arkham Knight is an absolute top-tier open-world experience. 14. Cyberpunk 2077. Next up, let's talk about the absolute definition of a futuristic, high-density open world, Cyberpunk 2077. The sheer scale and detail in this game are unmatched. The open world of Night City is why this game is one of the best. It's perfect because it's built on density and verticality. It's not just a big flat map. It's a massive, layered metropolis with skyscrapers, packed streets, and dangerous underlevels. Walking through the crowded markets of Japantown, seeing the neon shine and hearing the chaos, you genuinely feel immersed in a dystopian future. The gameplay loop is all about freedom and role-playing. You can be a stealthy netrunner who hacks enemies through the floor, a brutal solo who uses guerrilla arms, or a smooth corpo talking your way out of trouble. That flexibility in character build and mission approach is a huge value. V and Johnny Silverhand are fantastic protagonists, and the story is deep, tragic, and full of incredible characters. The moral choices you make feel heavy and consequential. My only hesitation, which is old news now, was the rocky launch, but the current version of the game is polished and delivers an unbelievable amount of content and visual fidelity. For delivering the most detailed, atmospheric, and dense sci-fi city sandbox, Cyberpunk 2077 is an easy entry on the GOAT list. 15. Mafia Definitive Edition. Let's take a deep breath and talk about a game that focuses on story and atmosphere over pure sandbox chaos. Mafia Definitive Edition brought a classic back to life and proved that open worlds can serve narrative first. The open world of Lost Heaven, based on 1930 Chicago, is perfect because it's a beautifully detailed historical setting that serves as a cinematic backdrop. It's not about hundreds of side activities, it's about driving through the stylized, authentic Depression-era streets and experiencing the atmosphere. The world is a key character in the story. The gameplay is a perfect blend of period-authentic driving, solid shooting, and a gripping linear story. The cars feel heavy and slow, exactly as they should, which forces you to respect the environment and the time period. Tommy Angelo's story is the ultimate value here. It's a gripping, tragic tale of a taxi driver who gets sucked into the mob life. The narrative is cinematic, well-paced, and utterly compelling from beginning to end. My only point is that this isn't a true sandbox like GTA. The open world is there to facilitate the story, and that might disappoint players looking for endless side quests. But for delivering one of the best narratives in gaming with incredible atmosphere and historical detail, Mafia Definitive Edition is a must-play. 16. Dying Light. Next up, let's talk about a game that nails first-person parkour and day-night terror. Dying Light. This game is a non-stop adrenaline rush. The open world of Haran is perfect because it's built on verticality and dual threat. You're constantly looking up, running across rooftops, and using every piece of the environment to evade or attack. The city is a playground during the day, but at night it flips into a pure survival horror experience where the terrifying volatiles hunt you. That day-night switch is genius. The gameplay is a phenomenal blend of parkour, heavy melee combat, and survival crafting. The feeling of barely escaping a horde and scrambling over a fence is intense. Crafting unique weapons and using environmental hazards makes the combat incredibly engaging. The protagonist, Kyle Crane, is an engaging character caught in a desperate situation. His internal struggle while navigating the chaos of Haran drives the narrative. My only critique is that the main story dialogue felt a little weak compared to the amazing core gameplay loop. But for delivering the best first-person traversal and the most terrifying, systemically brilliant day-night cycle in open-world gaming, Dying Light is an undisputed legend.
17. Death Stranding 2 on the beach. Let's talk about the absolute most unique open-world experience on this entire list, Death Stranding 2 on the beach. Hideo Kojima created a genre, and this sequel refines it into something mesmerizing. The open world, the fractured, desolate America, is perfect because it's billed as an obstacle to be overcome. This is the ultimate value proposition. The entire map is your puzzle. Playing as Sam Porter Bridges, the gameplay loop centers entirely on traversal and infrastructure. You're not fighting enemies constantly, you're battling the terrain, physics, and weather. That feeling of meticulous planning and finally connecting two distant points with a bridge or a zipline is intensely satisfying and profoundly unique. The atmosphere and story are pure Kojima, deeply philosophical, visually stunning, and emotionally complex. The narrative twists, combined with the bizarre, beautiful world design, demand hours of investment. The protagonist, Sam, is a reluctant hero whose emotional journey anchors the weirdness. My only piece of advice is that this game requires patience. It's deliberate and slow. But for delivering an unmatched, meditative, and systemic open world that genuinely makes you rethink what a game can be, Death Stranding 2 is a masterpiece of innovation.
Number 18, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt Complete Edition. Now we hit a game that defined the modern open-world RPG, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt Complete Edition. This is the GOAT of narrative density and side quest quality. The open world of the Northern Realms is perfect because it's built on narrative depth and consequence. The map, from the war-torn Velen to the bustling Novigrad and the beautiful Skellige Isles, is vast, but every single icon tells a genuine story. The value here is that the side quests are often better than other games' main stories. They are complex, morally gray, and feel like they genuinely matter to the world. The gameplay is a massive time sink. You're tracking monsters, mixing potions, using Witcher signs, and engaging in challenging combat. The included expansions, Hearts of Stone and Blood and Wine, add entire new regions and another 100 hours of quality content, making the complete edition the best value in gaming. Geralt of Rivia is an iconic protagonist whose dry wit and reluctance to get involved in politics makes his journey compelling. My one major critique is that the early combat system felt clunky until you invested deep into the skill trees. But for delivering the most emotionally resonant, narratively complex, and content-rich open-world RPG ever made, The Witcher 3 is the gold standard.
19. Hogwarts Legacy. Let's talk about pure fantasy wish fulfillment in an open world. Hogwarts Legacy. This game perfectly captured the magic of a legendary universe. The open world of Hogwarts Castle and the Scottish Highlands is perfect because it's built on unparalleled immersion and verticality. Exploring the castle, finding secret passages, solving puzzles with spells, and stumbling into hidden rooms is an incredible experience. The surrounding highlands are massive and gorgeous, perfect for soaring on a broom or a hippogriff. The gameplay is pure fantasy action. The combat is fluid, flashy, and satisfying, letting you chain together dozens of spells. The progression, learning new spells and brewing potions, feeds directly into the exploration and combat. It feels genuinely great to be a powerful wizard. The protagonist, your custom character, might be a little generic, but the world itself is the star. It feels genuinely alive, packed with lore and magical creatures. My only issue is that sometimes the open world quests felt a little repetitive outside the main story. But for delivering the most authentic, massive, and detailed-rich fantasy world for an IP of this magnitude, Hogwarts Legacy is an absolute masterpiece of escapism. 20. Elden Ring. And finally, to cap off the list with the game that redefined the open world for the modern era, Elden Ring. This is pure, unrestricted exploration at its absolute finest. The open world of the lands between is perfect because it's built on discovery and mystery. There are no mini-map markers or guiding lines telling you where to go. You see a terrifying dragon in the distance or a crumbling ruin, and you just go there. That sense of truly earning every discovery, every victory, and every piece of lore is the value. The gameplay is challenging, deep, and satisfying. The blend of complex combat, horseback traversal, and deep build variety makes every playthrough unique. The sheer number of bosses, dungeons, and secrets packed into this map is staggering. The protagonist, the Tarnished, is your avatar, and the story is complex, rich, and often told through subtle environmental cues. My only note is that the difficulty is high, and the game doesn't hold your hand at all, which can be frustrating. But for creating a sprawling, atmospheric, and dense open world that respects player intelligence and rewards curiosity like no other, Elden Ring is undeniably one of the 20 best open world games of all time.
All right, guys, before you jump to the comments, we have to shout out some legends who just barely missed the top 20, but still deserve immense respect. We're talking about games that offer pure sandbox fun like Just Cause 3, where the grappling hook chaos is worth the price alone. Then you've got the incredible Hong Kong atmosphere and fluid martial arts combat of Sleeping Dogs, which is a total classic. Ghost Recon Wildlands gave us that massive, tactical, systemic military sandbox that was amazing with friends. If you want pure, complex, historical RPG immersion, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is unbeatable. We can't forget the sheer scope and chaos of GTA 5, which defined a generation of open-world play. The narrative depth and action of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth are phenomenal, and Watch Dogs 2 gave us the ultimate hackable city experience. All these games are top-tier, essential open-world hits.
And that is the definitive list, man. The 20 best open-world games of all time. We covered everything from silent survival in S.T.A.L.K.E.R to high fantasy adventure in Elden Ring and Skyrim. These are the games that prove why we love this genre. They give us worlds worth living in. Which game did I miss? Which game did I rank too high? Did your favorite honorable mention deserve to be in the top 20? Let me hear your thoughts in the comments below.